Ended game comp, they're staying away from the fights, and they're going to do it their way as usual.
Yeah, but first things first, we can't get to the late game yet. We got the laning phase. And this will be...
Do we have to?
Do we have to? We have to.
All right.
That's what Double Lift actually tailors most of his AD carry and support picks about. So many teams nowadays do the 1v2 almost exclusively. But COG actually likes to force 2v2s as much as possible because Double Lift and Afromu really love laning against two other people, and they don't necessarily play the tower dive game as much as other teams.
Looks like we are going to get the regular matchups in the lanes.
He's changing guns.
He's absolutely changing guns, making sure his Q works. You have to. Talking to the players a lot. When we were on the analyst desk sometimes in EU and somebody would try to flash the bottom brush wall, I'd say, you know what, Pagay, I can't flash that wall. And he's like, we actually joined the game and put on summoner cooldowns and whatnot and flash that at least 3 times before starting. So the little things these guys do to get themselves ready to actually get into the game, which is the reason they usually don't flash face first into the wall.
Usually not in the first few minutes either, unless it's St. Vicious at blue buff.
Confirmed on stream.
Yeah. So right now, this is an incredibly defensive level 1. Maybe we could have expected COG to get a little bit aggressive because Afromu does control Thresh, but they're just not willing to go into that type of danger. And this is an extremely cute strategy right here by Alternate. They're trying to get a surprise kill onto COG. You can see Kevin has brought teleport on Mundo, so they're hoping that Double Lift and Afromu get a little bit too close to the sun and they can kill them with 3 people. J-Ree on Leona. I'm guessing he hasn't skilled up anything yet. He's going to go for his stun on Leona, probably his Q, and maybe lock someone down. This is going to be tense. They're not coming from the direction that Alternate wants them to, but maybe they can still pull them off.
Are they going to get antsy and stay in the bush? I feel like this is 25 levels ago when you're just starting to play the game, and it's a good idea to stack the bottom brush.
Is Afro going to look at it?
Oh, first Kevin coming out. Afromu's going to be the first hit. They flash, they stun. Afromu's down to 250 HP. First blood going over to Cretan.
And he played him the wrong way as well. If Afro could have flashed immediately as he saw the Mundo, it may have saved his life, but because Leona got that Q stun off, the bush trick worked. Welcome to America there.
Battle of the Atlantic, and they get the ambush attack to start it off here, coming out of the bottom brush. Moving up to the top lane. Kevin gets the assist on that, so it's actually just going to give him 3 minutes of vision. He really buys a ward and some potions for himself, so he's got a bit of safety. But we've seen the Mundo Shiv, the Mundo Tanky Bruiser top lane. We'll come back to him later.
And one thing we have to keep in mind, now that we are on the 3.14 patch, that first blood, since it was so early on in the game, is worth less gold. So typically a first blood would be 400 gold for someone, but since it was pretty much at 2 minutes, he only got about 260 gold for that, so 40% less. Not as bad as it would have been in days past for CLG.
Let's see how they decide to continue and play this bottom lane. Looks like they're going to keep it pressed up to the turret. They don't want to take it just yet. That mid lane is going to see Kerp and both Link trying to go back and forth. Whether they fight each other or not is their forte. But I believe the roam's going to be happening towards that 6 as Dexter
that was great timing,
making his way down. Cretan coming in. Oh my God, J-Ree walks in front of the hook, puts himself up in the fire. Can he get himself out? J-Ree looking to get out of this when it's level 2s to 1 or 2 level 3s. And that extra ability, not what they needed. They got the auto attack.
So a lot of things worked right for CLG there. There was actually a ward in the river for Alternate that died as Dexter walked through it. But it was a smart lane to gank because they knew J-Ree had already flashed in order to get the first kill. And since this kill was at 4 minutes, CLG actually got full gold out of that one and evened it out.
There we go, 4 minutes in. Both teams now know that if blood is taken, it needs to be drawn back, and CLG acts on that immediately. Nobody's really gone back to too much in the spending area. Cretan just picking up that ruby crystal, and they're even in gold in that lane as well. Nobody really grabbing the lead. The support only gained off of that.
No, we're just trying to see some counter jungling from RNA. Shyvana has nowhere near the early game pressure that Elise does. For the most part, RNA is just going to try and deny his jungle right here to almost punish Dexter for ganking, as long as RNA can escape alive as he's just recalling inside COD's jungle.
They definitely know the positioning now at Dexter. He has to be careful. Oh, he knows those just got taken. He's not communicating it with the team, but that's Dexter, as you saw in the video. Filtering in the information, he knows where he has to go now. he makes sure that area is actually clear first and may just go ahead and stick top lane to not waste time.
Yeah, well, they also know Kevin has no combat summoners up there because he's brought the teleport. And this is yet another gank coming in from Dexter. He might actually expect Shyvana to be near since he saw Shyvana clear out the double golems were gone. It's like, well, maybe he's trying to gank after that and he's looking for a counter gank. But as we saw in the video, Dexter's the one who likes to gank first. This is more of a counter gank for him.
He knows he had that little bit of time to play with. He is hanging out quite a bit, though. Kevin, very patient, not even wanting to try and trade. He knows what the result will be, and it's just a back and forth. Dexter's just that much closer. Oh, very nicely played. He actually placed it really within the minion, so it wasn't even a problem.
Yeah, he smelled something was up. There was a reason Yen was so close to a giant minion wave, and it's because he was trying to initiate a trade. That's why Kevin decided to ward the brush and get away safely. Almost
telling the lane, reading it like a book by the minions. Still looks like Dexter will stay out. He knows he missed too much, so he's going to keep farming his own jungle. Arnea has only gained 10 CS off of this, but he is missing that assist that Dexter was able to find on that gank in the bottom lane.
More counter jungling coming out from RNA as well. Since he saw Elise top lane, he's going to now counter jungle his wolves a little bit. He's not pulling himself too far ahead, actually, though, since Dexter's level 5, RNA is level 5. He's going to have to deny a little more heavily if he wants to really shut him down.
Yeah, you gotta suggest or think at what point are you kind of just farming over that guy is going to be getting ganks and really hurting the lanes. Arnea though making presence in the bottom lane. Dexter's been in that top lane for at least 2 to 3 minutes as Arnea has been trying to get himself bolstered up here. Looks like he will be able to back. Sword Boot starts for Dexter and the Doran's Blade start actually on Arnea here, or after the machete.
Yeah, it's a little surprising that he hasn't upgraded quite yet, but he's looking for that early game dueling most likely on Shyvana. And I do want to talk about Double Lift and his lane with Aphromoo a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Since he has actually brought the cleanse on Jinx, yes, that's to get out of Leona's stun a little bit, but it's also because he's only looking for late game hyper carry right now. That's the reason he picks Jinx and Illusion, because he wants to survive in the lane. How did he get that? For a second, I thought Link was going to mess up his blue buff, but he got it. No worries. And Double Lift and Afro, I feel like, are almost fully passive in this lane unless they get a gank.
They got the 75% mark of that lane pressed up just past the river, and Dexter looks like he's going to start hovering. The roam is coming out from Kerp, so that means they have freedom on the bottom side, but are they going to be able to react correctly? Diving a Leona is not the easiest thing to do. No,
that would be a very dangerous and foolish kick.
A lot of endless alleys here they're walking into.
Well, they found RNA's counter jungling. He's going to try and smite that away before Yen can collapse, but RNA's in a lot of trouble.
He doesn't get that. Oh, coming down. Getting that reckless swing in, and he's going to be chased over by Link here. Oh, very nice cast, blowing him back. He is going to take the extra damage, but will they just decide to go in here? Kerp is forced to turn tail on this one, and he's going to be chased down. The pursuit is coming in by Kevin. Link finds himself in a bad spot. Barrier and flash to get out of that. He'll be safe, and Yen still with Ragnarok is ready to run around.
Aranea thought knew he was going to level up off that red buff, and that's what allowed him to escape through. Still has a splash.
Ooh. Knowing there's a lot of commotion in the top lane, a great grab on Creatine. Aphromoo can't follow up as the Flay was just used, but they are getting good trades in the bottom lane on both sides.
CLG didn't want to fight down there because Alternate had the level advantage. That was a level 6 Lucian that they hooked in, and fighting with that would have probably been the end of CLG's bottom lane.
So a lot of action being taken immediately when that jungle and everybody engaged at the top side. We saw bottom lane go at it, but before that it's been Arnea. He's on Shyvana, so you live in the other person's jungle, on your opponent's. He's doing a great job of that, but not making too much impact.
Well, he sucked a couple people up from CLG and very nearly gave a little bit of momentum to CLG, but I think because he was able to steal the red and get away, and because he took so much time away from the solo laners, it's an overall plus for Alternate right there.
Working the little mind games. As long as you can get whatever advantage in the beginning. That's what these teams said. We don't know much about each other, but when we do figure it out, that's what we're going to have to capitalize on. Aphromoo said he knows the champions. He knows what they play. It's going to be a quick match.
Yeah, well, I was trying to get the information from Arnea. I saw him upstairs earlier. He said, what's CLG going to do? He's going to be like, who? Oh. Just not even acknowledging their existence because he's so over them.
We'll see. He's focused right now.
Well, they have to be. They're not allowed to speak during the pauses. It's to prevent any type of abuse of pausing or faking an error just so you can discuss strategy. They got to be in their own thoughts right now.
And a lot of people think maybe why? Why can't they talk?
I just said.
Because, yeah, that last guy.
You can cheat. Occasionally.
Now they won't think it.
Yep.
Great job, Jan.
Until we get a new viewer, and then I'll have to explain it the next time.
Next time. Well, there may be more than one pause.
Yeah, you never know. This one is actually going on a little bit longer than usual. We'll see what's going on there and be able to get that back to you. But really, a very passive start early for this. And I think if it stays even for long enough, COG will pull ahead of this one. Mainly because I think Jinx will outscale Lucian. And COG, as much as they like to say they're playing new, I don't think Doublelift can really change as a player.
Do you think they went early on the bottom lane because of cleanse? Knowing that if they took that flash away right away, killed the support, then Doublelift really doesn't have any offensive anyways?
Well, I think they went early on the bottom lane just to sneak kill. I mean, they went for whoever they could, and it was because Mundo had the teleport anyway.
That's true.
It's very infrequent that you end up using your teleport super early in the laning phase. So, I mean,
we actually didn't see, we saw Mundo running teleport a lot in EU, and they hardly ever used it, maybe like 13, 14 minutes during the big engage.
Yeah, you teleport in with that during fights to try and make a big play happen.
Yeah, didn't happen.
Not usually.
So coming into this, we are 8:55 into the game. No real aggression on Dragon. It has been a lot of focus on the bottom lane by both of the junglers, mostly towards the top lane for Dexter. He's been kind of floating up there, but that's only because we have Arnea has been just destroying his jungle on Shyvana. So this means you're going to have a big Mundo if there's nothing you can do about him up top, and a big Shyvana that's actually going to have a gigantic amount of farm.
Yep.
How is an AD carry going to deal with it?
Well, at the moment, it's about being able to peel and disengage as a team. Doublelift will be able to have the flay back from Aphromu's Thresh if Alternate decides to dive them through, as well as just having Olaf, Elise, Nidalee, hopefully they don't get a clean engage on COG before poke goes down. That's really the whole way this game's going to be playing out.
Looks like we have a few settings being changed out. These guys.
Yeah, I heard Creaton is just setting some stuff up at the moment. Something malfunctioned, and he's going to have to work that around. Get it fixed.
So this Battle of the Atlantic matchup does equal for 1 point. The matches were 1-2, and then it's going to go 1-2-3 as we finish up the next ones of the next ones.
It does go 1-2-3.
Yes.
Yeah, so fourth and fifth place in the LCS standings get a 1 point match.
Yep.
Second and third are both worth 2 points, and then first place, the Almighty, is worth 3 points. And Cloud9 versus Fnatic is going to be really interesting.
I think so.
I think because when I saw Cloud9 last at IM Cologne, they got pretty much hammered by Gambit Gaming.
They didn't travel well. That's the truth.
They didn't travel well, and it didn't seem like they'd prepared very much from the World Championships. Hopefully, for America, that's a bit of a wake-up call for Cloud9,
right.
And someone like Balls will have learned the new top lane champions. High will hopefully bring back something more, and we can see this whole Battle of the Atlantic thing really just come to an exciting conclusion, because I want to see a good match between Fnatic.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are back into the matchup. Look at that. They are actually doing Dragon.
They were doing it this whole time.
Boom. So they're going to pick that up. So a huge commotion towards the top lane. We saw Arnea getting low. Actually, Flash and Barrier was burned by Link in that engagement up top. So quite interesting that they chose to head their way down to the Dragon and do something so scary right away.
Well, at least they got it.
Yeah, they did get it.
Yeah.
They got it. And then they're going to check that they got it.
Yeah, this will be a very quick thing. Arnea has just had a locked camera that he needs to be able to unlock, is what I have just heard.
Some people play locked camera.
Darius used to. Yeah, no. Oftentimes you play lock camera before you are talented enough to move the camera yourself. I'd say it's a big disadvantage to have a lock camera.
Yeah, actually. People come right up behind you and you have no idea. It's kind of hard to play the game when you can't see everything.
Yeah. Doublelift had that problem. He needed glasses.
Go figure. Now he wears them all the time.
He doesn't have them on right now.
No.
Hopefully he got contacts. Otherwise he's in trouble.
It's actually the same with Zuna. He doesn't like to wear his glasses either.
Well, that's because he goes so close to the screen.
Yeah. Well, he does without them.
Yeah. What?
I guess he plays better without them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
I know. That's why I brought it up. We'll get it.
Thanks, Rev.
So we're seeing if these guys are set. They're kind of milling about slowly to make sure that the game is set for them. You can see the awesome crowd still hanging, enjoying themselves thoroughly here in Los Angeles, California, as the Battle of the Atlantic is underway once again. So we're just coming up on the 10-minute mark. The gold has not had too much of a deficit to be seen yet in the favor of, or I guess, at alternate. So CLG just holding on to that mostly with the Dragon.
The Dragon is pretty big for CLG, but obviously not as big as it would have been in Season 3. Early on in the game, the Dragon is worth slightly less gold, whereas by the end of the game, it's worth 260 gold a person. That's when the average level in the game is 15 or above. So this first one, while nice for CLG, doesn't give him a big lead.
RNA getting spotted out in the bottom. He's got a red buff to be working with, and he's only staying 10 CS above on Dexter here. I'd be interested to see how Link builds if he goes for pure and all damage, because Dexter quickly going for those Sork boots to get himself around and really get himself back in.
Yeah, I'm feeling like Link and Kerp will both just be itemizing the Athene's Unholy Grail as of now, since they're kind of just poking at each other, and it's mostly a farm off in that lane. Except Kerp will be able to push back Link a little bit more heavily.
Still real no big action that's going to sway this game yet. We see everybody playing safe, looking for the weaknesses, but it's really not what they want. They're keeping the vision up. All the yellow trinkets is really not slowing the game down, but making everybody play a lot more cautious.
Yeah, there's no sweeper in this game yet.
Right.
And it's interesting because I've been watching a lot of Afromu's games, and he doesn't like to build a Sightstone, at least at any point early on in the game. He loves to rush the full upgrade on his Ancient Coin, go all the way to Talisman of Ascension before getting a Sightstone. Afromu's completely content just using his warding trinket and a couple purchased wards to keep his bottom lane safe.
It looks like Link and Kurt may just want to hang out for a while. They've both upgraded already that totem to the greater totem, have a longer ward in their lane, so they're just keeping themselves happy farming.
Absolutely. You can see no sweepers in this game, which seems like a bit of a CLG strategy. They're not trying to clear off. Ooh. There's the ult. Let's see if they get on Afro.
Zenith Blade going in. There's the Dragon's there's the HP, and no, it's not. Double Lift looks to be the second one. The culling comes out, and it's just the end! Oh, Creedon finds 2 more in the matchup to put himself at 3.
Great finish right there, and now 3 kills onto Creaton. We knew he was 5th place in Europe in kills despite only playing in 3/4 of the games. Well, he's 100% of the kills on his team right now.
Man, Barrier probably would have saved Double Lift there.
Absolutely it would have saved him. Also, if he would have cleansed the instant he got slowed by J-Re's ultimate, he also could have gotten alive.
That is
but
true.
That was kind of being greedy with summoner spells. Ooh. And one thing that did happen in that gank down bottom, maybe fight up top.
Oh, yeah. I think Kevin's like, I can do the big damage, and then Nian gets his swing back, and they're kind of trading even here.
Nian says, I can do damage too. But talking about that gank that happened in the bottom lane, one of the big reasons it was more successful is Afromu tried to flay J-Re out of his Zenith Blade, the E that Leona gets closer to him with, but he flayed too early, and he actually got fully closed on and stunned, which helped the follow-up to finish off Double Lift.
Dexter just hovering in from the side. The Cocoon could hit from there. A very nice body slam out, but already Arnea there reading that one, and he would have been ready for the re-engage. They have everything up, and that would have been a pretty big fight for them.
Yeah, the last time we were super surprised about how Link got the blue buff, he had a trap on him. The trap actually DPS'd to that lane.
Good eyes.
A little bit of lucky. I didn't see it, someone told me. Oh, okay, good.
So the gold lead actually swinging over these kills. This CS, that explosive cast. And they're going to hang on for a second. Another one, the Zenith Blade on the Afro move. Oh, there's a traffic jam in the rush hour right now. Double Lift getting pushed off of this one, and J-Re and Creedon are just going to take care of the lane.
This lane's really bad right now for CLG. There are no tank stats on Afromu, and any time J-Re wants to even land a slow from his ultimate onto Afromu, it's going to kill him. And that Leona ultimate, it's not like it has a long cooldown. 60 seconds from now, that can happen again to Afromu.
Looks like Nian trying to hold off what he can with a quick Spirit Visage. Looks like Kevin's doing some good damage. He's going to equal that out and sum it up with another, Sunfire Cape, bringing it back a few years. Nice spear coming out from the hands of Link. So his roam now begins, and we see that Kerp is actually going to hug middle here and actually get most of his fights from people coming to him.
Yeah, CLG's trying to babysit the bottom lane a little bit, but that's going to pull resources from the rest of the map and end up hurting CLG even more so. If Link goes down bottom again, Kerp is just going to take his turf.
See, Kevin does have his teleport up, so he can also participate in a fight that needs to happen bottom lane. Leona ultimate looking like it's going to be about 20 to 25 seconds. I'm sure Doublelift and Aframu are trying to keep those timers in their head because it really means their lane right now.
They have to turtle entirely right now, but it's just a bad situation for COG's bottom lane because the minion wave is pushed beyond the halfway point. They can't farm. He's trying to steal that little guy.
Quickly shielding off his red buff.
Gotta guess where it is.
It's like I hit something. I'm going to try again. I can hear it. So I think Arnea actually saw a few of those spears as well. You could see Kurt hovering down to make sure the entire path was safe, but now they want to go straight back at him. They want to say, give me that blue buff. Good damage on the Link, goes on the barrier. Here's Dragon's Descent, a bit too far off. They flash in with the Ignite, and it's going to be the last barrel. Dexter trying to get their flashes over the wall, but only to stop the turret damage.
Really just some fantastic placement there by Kerp, and the Dragon has respawned, so this is just even more good stuff for Alternate.
Getting everything they need right in a row here, and it looks like this is going to put them up another chunk of 1,000. They will have 23 to that 20K coming up, and attention, Alternate putting themselves on the board a lot right now. 20 CS in that mid lane, 20 CS in the bottom lane.
Every lane is actually doing quite well, including the top lane where Kevin is stealing Dexter's jungle because he has had to help so many other places on the map. This is Alternate really looking strong with their new, I gotta call it their new lineup as well, since
Absolutely.
Kevin is new to the team and Kerp is playing in a new position.
Rocking that trackball.
Oh yeah.
So one turret has only fallen here in 16 minutes. We've had actually quite a bit of personal action, but the objective action has been quite slow. Dragons back and forth during the previous brief stop we had earlier, but right now Alternate has found their way and got everything situated because they are right back in the face of CLG.
And so much advantage can be taken very shortly here in the mid game for Alternate. You can see Kriya-chan has his Trinity Force completed, meaning he can now kill turrets at a much faster pace. That's one of Lucian's biggest strengths when he rushes a Trinity Force, because not only does he get the Trinity Force proc on turrets, he gets to do his double shot and really take them down fast. You can see the item advantage, even though it's small, exists for Kerp. He's got that extra blasting wand and Doran's Ring over top of Link. And of course, Aframu and Doublelift can't even look at J-Ree because they're going to get hit by a solar flare and then jumped on.
So they got regular wards getting placed down in the bottom lane here by J-Ree. We got that sweeper out for himself now, so they may be trying to get some teleport stuff going on in the bottom lane. We'll have to see. It's really just been J-Ree on the solar flare. These guys are doing it in a two-man team without anybody else.
Well, he's got the Sightstone now, so that's why he has the sweeper. But since the mid turret is down, there's just all kinds of action. You can see COG's trying to plot a dive onto Doublelift and Aframu, but what this is also doing is just denying Doublelift's ability to farm. Even though Doublelift is on a late game carry and Jinx, that won't matter if he's not allowed access to creeps.
He can't, he's impatiently walking in between those two turrets in the bottom lane, and that should be the safest point for him right now. Arnea still knows that they can pressure into this. That mid turret falling right now is being used perfectly by Alternate.
Dexter's trying his damnedest to stay away from this one, but he has nowhere else to go. If he can't get his wolves and his team can't defend him, they can't do anything.
They can't even, the lanes can't be called for help right now. They're just causing so much chaos, and they can even get a Mundo if they wanted to. They'd lose a turret, so right now they are in perfect position to keep doing what they're doing. But we've seen what happens if you don't do anything for 40 minutes. It doesn't look good.
No, COG has no lane presence or jungle presence at the moment. As much as Dexter is trying to escape and have that full Magic Pen build, he wasn't able to do anything. Now they're trying to go pretty much the only place on the map that's left to them. They've lost control of their upper jungle, so they're going to try a dive on a very farmed Mundo with his ultimate. Let's see what happens.
All right, there's only one thing that can stop him from teleporting out of this one. It looks like he throws down the ultimate, and the crowd control is going to be a bit broken up for him. He should be able to get out. Oh, he gets down with the undertow. Very great way to capitalize on the burst damage from those champions.
Yeah, Link landed the bullseye right there onto Kevin, and that's the reason they were able to secure that kill. That's the only place COG could have went to make something happen.
And this is great. Alternate should have been pushing this mid turret. Instead, they were drawn up top, and now they're chasing the kills. They're chasing something that happened instead of CLG.
And they actually got a lot of poke on to J-Reese, so maybe a turn for CLG.
He's trying to walk right across that culling, and he just takes it to the face. Double lift still going in. Great job by Cretan, just putting up a personal sentry wall. May find himself going down as Aframu could go in hard here. Throws down the lantern.
Lantern
double
in.
lift. Oh, the season blade goes over. Is there enough burst from the passive? One goes down. Will he be able to turn this one around? Link is a huge factor in this fight, but Kevin's going to put himself in the front here, and I think they are going to be able to thwart off anything else. Link in a bad spot. Aframu is going to, I think I can him into this situation, and they are both going to end up going down.
That went from bad to worse. Kevin teleported in and everything went wrong.
There goes the ghost. Olaf trying to make his way out of here. Ragnarok is coming up in just a few seconds. If he can get it to come off, will he try to use it? Will he go down? It comes up. He doesn't use it. Well chosen. He left it.
There was nowhere for him to go there. Ragnarok would have just been a wasted cooldown right there for CLG Yen. And things just kind of got out of hand there. You could see the double lift tried to go in, but as soon as the lantern came in, J-Reed landed the stun onto double lift, which killed their damage. And then even though Link and Kevin arrived at the same time to that fight, it just wasn't enough. You can see there's no way once Link gets toe-to-toe with the Mundo, can he do anything.
Oh, so many times when you want to help somebody and you had no way to get out.
Yeah,
but just go down and make the best of the worst. 9-3 now as the kills just keep going in favor of alternate. It's not CLG finding one and running with it. It's alternate finding a few and continuing on. 34,000 now to 27,000 gold. Only 20 minutes into this matchup. Inventories are filling up quite fast, and those core items more completed in the inventories of alternate than CLG.
Oh, absolutely. That's what happens when you're up about 7,000 gold. It actually seems like Creation's going for an Infinity Edge on Lucian. What's really interesting about this whole back and forth matchup with Creation and J-Reed is there's not even a Vamp Scepter on Creation. That's how little threat or harassment Double Lift and Aframu were putting out on him, that he could just rush his Trinity Force and now go for an IE. He doesn't even care about lifesteal because there's no harassment getting landed on him.
See where these harassment can be put out by some of these Talismans of Ascension if they can get into these fights. That's what Alternate's been trying to do. We said they chased the last fight. They chased it up to the top, but they are ready back for the Dragon as it comes up. This will be the second one in their favor. They may lose this top turret, and he ends swinging at it, but he doesn't have too much damage just yet. He's not sitting on the Cutlass, but he looks like he's trying to build a bit more defense before that.
Yeah, oftentimes Olaf wants the Blade of the Moon King to chase him down. But many things, Riv, have gone wrong for CLG here, or gone completely right for Alternate. They've managed to completely shut down CLG's bottom lane, and that's mostly from a 2v2 perspective. Yes, Kevin did have the level 1 gank that burned Aframu's flash, but then CLG got a return kill, so it should have been neutralized, and it pretty much was.
Really, what it came down to was great jungling by Arnea, continuously the counter jungle, because our matchup is Kerp versus Link, but it's really been Kerp and Arnea in the jungle of Link. He can't get his buffs. He can't even help Dexter when he's having trouble.
That's a big thing. I really do think Arnea's gank in the bottom lane, just to give Alternate the confidence to go in with Leona and Lucian.
Right.
As soon as they landed that first Solar Flare and just obliterated COG, it was kind of like, oh yeah, we can do this by ourselves now. And then they continued to get the kills on the rest of COG. 4 deaths for Aframu's Thresh support. You can rush the Talisman of Ascension all day, but it doesn't give him any health.
Right.
He's missing out on the 180 health from Sightstone. And I can see in some situations how the Talisman of Ascension rush is a good thing, but not when you're getting hard engaged on, and not when you're brawling through and through and losing your brawls. You need some defensive stats in there in order for it to work.
Yeah, at this point, you're just being canceled out by the other Talisman. You try to use yours, the other one's used, nobody has it. You see the Infinity Edge, huge damage. Nobody wants to stand in front of Creaton now. We said he is one that had some of the most kills in the EU LCS and only played in 75% of the games. The Solar Flare comes out, and even with partial vision in the fight, they try it. Kerp gets locked up, and it is a death sentence. But whoa, what? Aframu goes down, and Kerp lives. The Drunk Man almost gets out with his resistances, and it is going to be a re-engage. Dexter goes down, but it's great. Fighting and fighting. Creatine just firing backwards.
Hey, a 2 for 2 is a great result for CLG when their jungle is getting invaded just like that. Yes, Dexter and Aframu may have overcommitted a little bit, but it was kills and potential for the carries. Let's see exactly. We're wondering how Aframu died so fast. It's because there's a whole burst of damage and Alternate can fly out. As soon as they got curbed, it meant everybody in. Aframu flew in right into the culling and some barrels. That's why he got blown up so quickly. And then it was actually Dexter and Lynx engaged, which is why you saw the damage dealers of CLG staying back and really the sacrificial lambs of CLG going forward, creating the kills and dying.
Still getting the chase on here. And you can actually see how you said the sustained fights kind of want to go to alternate the chase fights for CLG, and as we come out of the replay, Link still chasing around RNA.
It's more about CLG wants to poke and stay at range a little bit.
Right.
As they kind of poke Kerp down a little bit there, but then they over-engage later, which is why it wasn't a clean fight.
It's not something you see every day.
Can you get him?
No.
You can't. Kevin's a little bit too fast.
Still big damage coming. From the end, actually.
Absolutely. Considering he's also sitting on 2,000 gold. Kevin's sitting on 1,600 as well, so it's, if they catch the right spears and the right hooks, then yeah, CLG still thinks they have a chance in some of these fights. I just don't know what their answer is for the 5-0-4 Lucian.
Engage, they'll let Kevin clean that up. His teleport is up if they did want to engage, but right now they play it slow. They know there's no pressure or dragon to be worried about. So 25 minutes in, Creatine 5-0-4 to a 1-2-3 double lift. These guys still have about a 30 CS lead in both of those lanes. Nien has, however, jumped a bit over Kevin, so he's keeping these guys in if they need a tank, if they need someone to be big for him.
The big change is actually in the jungle here. It's a 2,000 gold lead for RNA over Dexter.
It's true.
European jungler versus European jungler in the Battle of the Atlantic, and the European jungler is out on top. But really, RNA, just because he's been farming so much, and because his ganks have been the success on it. The optimum dive buddies, just two super tanks that do a whole bunch of damage that everyone over in Europe for that promotion tournament was terrified of teams getting their hands on, and Alternate got it. And we're seeing why people are fearful of it.
Each other's power in this. Nobody went Zanya's. They're all going for kill potential. Or all, both of them, I should say.
Well, it's because both Gragas and Nidalee keep so much distance from each other. That is a very standard build for both of them. Death Cap, 2 Athene's Unholy Grail. It gives them the mana regen they need, and then the straight up power that they want.
Oh, good dodge. Oh, well, all right. Wow, this is one heck of a dose. No, Afromu. Oh, he doesn't get out. Threads the needle. Creatine finds another calling kill.
He got destroyed when Creatine hit him with a couple auto. Until they got there, it just became a bad idea.
Oh, I thought they were actually going to go in there on Kerp in middle. You can see 4 members just saw Kerp in mid, and they
I believe that's the 3rd dragon in a row that Alternate has controlled. Even Double Lift can't go out farther than that brush.
Still looking at the ward totems, and actually sweepers coming out now. Junglers having one as the supports. CLG may be wanting more to grab back this jungle, but they're actually not working awful lot of. Oh, actually, never mind. Alternate just put a ton of wards down.
Yeah, it's real dangerous though for COG to try and sweep things in their own jungle, just because they're not allowed to be there right now. Alternate is the ones who are.
It hasn't
much
really
stronger.
been there since the early game.
And even the time that they're spending sweeping that ward vision down, they're risking getting engaged upon.
Link has to get himself out in the open, so Kurt feels completely free to 1v1 Link, even at the second tier turret in mid, knowing his team's behind him. 9,000, almost 10,000 gold up and 200, and there's not the 1v1, but the 2v1. Arnea able to find himself in danger. He may not get out of this one. He has to use Dragon's Descent to make his way out. And it looks like they will start to back off. CLG should try to pressure something on this.
And we can actually see why COG's composition was picked. It's not like it was a bad team composition. Just by getting the one stun to
Ooh, let's see what this wave clear looks like in the tower. J-Re gets taken down. There's the grab, but do they want Kevin? Yes, the spear hits. The end gets quite slow. The Ragnarok is up, but he's holding it. He is holding it for the continuous fight. Will they be able to get in? It's going to be Dexter just with the Q. The percent is not enough to escalate the fight.
And even though CLG is down 9,000 gold, they are threatening Alternate at this turret.
They got the siege wave at the 3. He gets excited, and they get out.
That was a really quality push by CLG.
That was
there.
dangerous.
They came together as a team and really made that one work. As soon as one person lands a stun or a slow, everyone else can chain in their poke. So if they land an Axe or an Elise stun, that means that Doublelift and Link get to land their Nidalee spears, and also
going back now. Looks like Alternate put a few items they did not have under their belts. The Void Staff now for Kurt. Damage from those spears that you're already getting. Wards still being set up, but a lot have dissipated here, so it's about both teams being able to refine their vision.
yeah, Doublelift actually just burned his Super Mega Death Rocket there to scout Baron, because COG was dashed on 5v5. And that's all that Alternate needs to think about creating right now.
That's exactly what. Solar Flare down, Link is stuck, but he gets Shield and Lantern out, keeping himself safe, and they're able to siege protect the second turret. So only losing something they knew they were going to lose, but top lane getting crushed real hard.
Yeah, this is the split game plan from Alternate. The end needs to be able to take out Kevin.
I should say 10,000 gold is what the gold lead is about to be, and you're seeing that as the turrets pressured down here by Alternate in game 1 in the Battle of the Atlantic versus CLG. Not much they can do unless they get a perfect engage. It can't be the slightest of sloppiness.
Yeah. I think COG held that one off pretty well.
They're going to have to.
Substantially some nice shots over the wall by Doublelift, where he was able to get rockets off with the static shiv on Jinx and really just get a decent amount of harass back into Alternate, which made them pull away. And team composition-wise, this is where Alternate kind of needs to make their plays happen. They've taken out the majority of COG's outer turrets in COG's red jungle. Because we already saw that COG isn't willing to walk through their jungle if they don't know what's there. and it could mean...
First one in, last one out. He's the quickest and the safest. Arnea doing what he has all jungle, fearlessly just walking into each... I don't think it's going to be done anytime soon.
And Kevin with the teleport actually means Alternate setting up for something pretty big. Oh!
Link last time, they get him that. Kevin looks like he's going to get the turret, though. Nobody's able to give him enough pressure, so he's just going to have this one down to about 25% HP.
CLG shouldn't care about that turret because they would lose it anyway. But they're sending too many people down for Mundo plus the teleport. And unless Dexter were to miracle steal this, it's a absolutely uncontested Baron by Alternate.
All right, so at this point, as CLG looks at their own minimap, they say, yeah, they're doing Baron. We're all down here.
Yeah.
That's going to be going to Alternate. That brings them up to 60,000 gold and just about a 12,000 gold lead. Is 4 items in everybody's pocket on the opponent.
There was really no appropriate counterplay for CLG once Alternate started that Baron. So it was just smart and well done. It'll mean that Alternate should now shop with the added gold from Baron and then consider straight up tower diving. As long as the tower gets on Mundo or Shyvana. So Kevin,
it's like a blitz hook. When you don't use it, you create more with it. If you don't have it, then you're kind of stuck at whatever point you are in the game with running around. So
teleport kind of is strongest at this point in the game.
Yeah.
And then actually gets weaker as we get a little later because the teleport's not going to help Alternate
the
at
base,
all.
right? Utilizing it perfectly at the moment here. 35 in, 5 turrets to 2, and that first turret was probably one of the biggest things that happened right away in the early part of the game. It meant that already Kerp would be inside the jungle of CLG, and Arnea, who was in the jungle. He just had more freedom.
It allowed a lot of access, and we can see that CS lead kind of just expanding into this portion of the game. Arnea, place he could teleport too, but it's still a minor.
He no need minions. He gets the bottom turret down. Nobody's actually going to put situation.
It's tricky though, because CLG can't really commit to a full-on fight. They have to chip away at Alternate. And it's really hard to chip away on a Baron buff team because that Baron buff grants such an immense amount of health regeneration.
Alternate is just making it look quick and easy. Walk perpendicular every time the arrow is thrown. The spear is thrown. See double lift quickly getting the clear out. They have great siege protection on this turret.
They're really good at clearing these waves out. Actually, when there was the cannon minion, Link threw a spear right through the cannon minion, and then double lift just killed it with his rockets. COD's not actually letting the minions get to the turret. Basically, if Alternate wants to find a fight, they're going to have to be willing to complete.
Getting a few more blips on his screen. We're going to get that fixed up as they keep sieging.
His tattoo right there.
It is, yeah. New tattoos.
Yep, he's got them on both arms. Anyway, we got this pause, and it's actually been held off for a pretty long time by CLG, but they're by no means in control. They are completely on the back foot. It's just taken a little while for Alternate to continue pushing them over.
It comes down to it. Once you get to that base, I always like that, but you have a better chance of defending something, and everybody, your character abilities may be a bit more effective. Like Doublelift can shoot rockets over the wall. They can throw undertows and farming. Everybody's sharing partially the gold that comes in, so everything comes real slow from this point. But it's still quite early considering the games we've seen. We can
actually kind of recap maybe how we got here in the first place. There was definitely a very weak laning phase from couldn't get control of their jungle, as you were saying.
Right.
RNA counter-jungled the crap out of him. COG could not get any dragon control, and it's been this slow bleed ever since.
Not follow up. Seems like the filtering of information was just done better. RNA knew he was going to counter-jungle this whole game, and he has made it real tough for Dexter. Good damage on the back line. They are going super deep, like the turret isn't even there. Damage to the turret doesn't even happen. I guess it's not. They still get what they want, and they can engage after the turret. The culling keeps everybody spread out to the right side, and you can see Double Lift trying to use that tree to get some shots.
Minion to tank the turret for him. They were able to just push right through COG. It gave Kerp time specifically to land enough harass and get COG off of defense mode.
Oh, Creaton going big, gets the Banshee's Veil out, 6-0-4. Actually has been beaten CS by Double Lift. They can get on. There's the clutch down. Nien's on the other side of the wall. Oh, nobody saw that, but he is going to go down 12-7 now on the.
We're going to chase a Mundo with 5 people. That's actually the time to do it.
Yeah.
There was no threats elsewhere on the map where Alternate could take advantages, and they not only get the kill, looks like they get the turret too, Riv. That was a smart play by COG to chase down Kevin.
Take one thing, you got to take the next. They also got his flash down. Mundo ult comes up pretty quick. Seeing any or too many fights, I should say. You still have Shyvana and Leona in the mid lane. Who knows? But right now, look, keep it lax and push the lanes.
We might see Alternate just waiting for the next Baron, especially since when they're sieging that.
See what these supports have for themselves. Aphromoo is still trying to get himself tanky, and that's still a big J-Re.
Yeah, that's another tank for them, really. Especially when he has that W on from Leona. His stats just explode through the roof. It gives him 75 armor and 73 magic resist when he's got his W on.
That's
to
just
go
a
with
little
his
bit.
thousands and thousands of health, which he just completed recently. And he's just got more damage multipliers going on right now.
50 seconds on both Baron and Dragon. Alternate trying. Link and Double Lift trying to throw from the outside. Dexter is not able to do much in this fight, and Link makes it out. The double buff is on him, Nien rather. And we're going to see if they will re-engage. They don't like not having Kerp.
The spear goes through and hits Kerp. It's a whole lot of trouble, as we saw. COG might try to push out of mid lane. He's actually going to be dead when Baron respawns. Maybe we could even see a fight of Baron here, 5v4 for COG. This could slingshot them back in the game.
Got to take out that first siege minion wave. They want to make sure. This is difficult as well. RNA is very low. Being that low means this is more of an engage. They're going very strong on this. Smites are up on both junglers.
It's very dangerous as a poke comp to go into Baron against two people who want sustained fights, Kevin and Aranea. Let's see how COG handles this one. They're all running out of the pit, but Link's getting feasted down.
All right, they are able to jump it out. Very nice job with the lanterns, but how much have they given? They're going to have to walk all the way around. I'll just say, Aranea, that would be a very risky call.
But the 5v4 only has a couple of seconds left, and Baron is still at half health. COG wants to stay in this one, but they're going to be trapped in a 5v5 for a bit longer if they do.
Here comes Kerp. He's just on the outside. They may go hard on this. Oh my God, shots coming in from Double Lift.
Really?
Junglers are inside. The smite goes down. RNA is able to grab Nasher. And it looks like Alternate will make their way to the base. They will clear down the mid wave. They don't have a bottom to push, but they do have a top.
That was actually a genius plan by CLG, but it was poorly executed. Dexter, even though he can spike the Baron down with his Venomous Bite at the same time of spiting and do more damage than RNA, RNA is the one who smited it out. So the health bar management from Dexter was off there, and it actually just gives Alternate their second Baron of the game.
The 50-50 head 1,000 gold lead. Dragon will be fought over for a little bit, but that gold's going to be very much so needed by CLG right now.
Yeah, that gives almost as much gold as Baron at this point. Baron gives
teams fighting that.
Dragon gives 1,300. Dragon's a little easier to kill.
Yeah.
For one. But now it's the Baron regen once again, which is what ended up cascading down that middle inhibitor turret. Of course, the middle inhibitor is back up. I think Alternate's going to be able to take that one. It's definitely what they're planning next.
Looking at Kevin's to Nien's build, when you know someone is building full outright tank, you don't have to follow that at all. They'll still be able to take him out as this late game comes.
They're definitely going to try to. I mean, Olaf and Mundo can do slightly different build paths, and they've been able to kill them slowly, but now with the Baron buff, I don't know if they can.
It looks like he is going to be absolutely unstoppable. Thornmail, Sunfire, Spirit Vigils, and the Randuins to keep it going. They are getting a good pulse down, Jack. This is how you said it has to happen. Aframu gets engaged up. It's going to be Lucian. Creatine to the back line. Gets one shot in. Will he get the second kill on Nien? The culling just following on the backside. But look at Kevin. Can't be stopped in that 2v1. Pulls himself out now. Double Lift trying his damnedest to shoot the brick wall, but nothing is chipping off. The inhibitor is low, and they've taken out members as well. The HP bar is going down, but the inhibitor is going to fall first.
The damage dealers are still up for CLG, but they have to flash away. What happened in that fight, Riv, is they thought they could catch on to the squishy guy, but no one could get through the meat.
Bust about to come up as well. Flame Chompers on the ground. Dexter with a huge chunk of damage coming out. Link saves his life. Shut down. Double Lift gets excited. Do they have the speed? Link flashes over, but doesn't want to be there. Goes down by the hands of Kerb.
Just imagine if CLG had actually got her.
We saw on the side of Alternate, but now at full health, near full health, they back off, walking away with their heads held high and a base to be taken on the side of CLG.
Yeah, and let's just actually see right here. Koreachan got a little overzealous with that, and Doublelift's last auto attack was able to finish him off. But then Link got a bit ahead of himself. Not only did he get hit by the Cleaver, he got hit by the Gragas as well. Here is nowhere for him to run safe.
One last drink before you go down.
May as well.
45 minutes into this, we said it may be going the length, but the laning phase did not go anything as we would see. And the late game is being pushed back on CLG more than most would have thought as well. Alternate playing very well, almost fully itemed up here, and RNA is now going for a Blade of the Rune King, just putting the Cutlass in his inventory.
But CLG's getting there as well.
Yes.
That's the dangerous
This is the
thing.
hold-off we were talking about. At 35, we said, give him 20.
14,000 gold is much more than they want to deal with, but Doublelift is sitting at pretty much 6 items. Also, Link is 1 item away, so he's sitting at 5. He's right competitive with what Kerp is doing. We saw 1 spear from Link could nearly clean out Kerp. I think if Nien could finish off his item build, Nien's really far away from his item build. Those last 3 items aren't finished full items for him. He needs to upgrade all of those, and then CLG might be able to repel them. Looking at that last engagement, though, when Alternate all had Baron, and it was kind of a 3v5, and CLG was still able to repel them,
Yeah.
there's hope yet.
I feel like CLG's comp is actually coming a bit more into what they wanted, seeing the Crucible come out, now the Mercurial Scimitar, as well as having that cleanse as well on Double Lift. They always get themselves out of a chaotic fight, but there's nothing chaotic crowd control to happen. All the bursts just happen from Alternate, so
Another Leona all
they're
down
running
without
this one
landing.
in. There's in Creatine, good damage onto the 80 carry that forces him backwards. The Talisman of Ascension goes off. CLG is starting to get a little bit bigger here in these fights.
And that was the worst push Alternate has had yet.
Yeah.
They got almost no turret, and if Korea-chan would have went down, it could have cascaded into many more kills once Doublelift's Jinx got excited. There's a lot of danger coming from Alternate now. They're kind of, one good play from Alternate could win them the game because they're pushed so far into CLG. But CLG probably needs a series of good plays in order to come back. But with how close that last one is, the next play could really go either way.
This is really going to tell it, Jat. The teleport being up for them last time messed up that communication. It hurt where they were positioned, but it looks like they will not just send Kevin down to the bottom lane. They'll decide to back here. They have something to get before their last hurrah.
Yeah, I don't know if the last hurrah is going to be that soon.
Probably not.
Definitely a minute and 15 seconds from now, Baron's going to respawn. I wonder if CLG tries to fight there again. It's a dangerous proposition because they're holding quite well, but if they just give up to Baron, it does seem like Alternate would be able to push through for inhibitor number 2.
Well, that was like one of the most forced Barons we've really ever seen here. Nobody has used Baron that way to fight each other while both taking it down to about 1,000 health before they decided to. Usually it's one or the other, the fight happens, and then they take Baron. So these teams are putting everything on the line when it needs to be.
And if someone were to get picked off here for Alternate, CLG would be able to get the Baron. If I was Alternate, I wouldn't be in this situation right now. I would just pull back, use this time to control the jungle near the Baron, and work on securing that. But Alternate has other ideas.
This part of the game usually tends to slow down quite a bit. It's like the team can't get past that door anymore. Right now they're looking for that inhibitor. Has come back up in mid. No engagement there, but we're looking at J-Re. There's the solar flare going on the backside. The burnout goes down, and it's all just the flex of muscles they needed for the inhibitor.
Kerp's ultimate hit so hard right now. It immediately sends CLG back. And yes, to their credit, they were able to get the inhibitor there. Now they can pull back for Baron.
Slowing themselves down, CLG.
Oh, they're waiting for something.
CLG doesn't really have the ward right there. Swept out. Only one more vision sits out the outside of Baron.
They're behind him.
Here it comes. It's Alternate coming in for the backside. It's going to be the Dragon Descent right into the box. How much damage can this provide for them, though? Both teams are actually backing off of this. They wanted CLG to engage on that, but CLG wanted to feel out the fight.
Who can poke who harder right now? Kerp is waiting for his Gragas ultimate to be back up. CLG is trying to chase through, and they're actually taking more poke than Alternate is.
Alternate taking the long way around inside the base of CLG. They're going to take an inhibitor, possibly this inhibitor. They're going to take the turret, rather. We'll see J-Re doing what he can as the melee up front. And that's got to be considered. These guys are melee taking out structures.
That's
Great
one
shot there. It's going to be Leona going down. J-Re finds it. Can Arnea be the next one to go down? The zap does not hit Kerp. The Ragnarok is not on. The Ghost is, though. There's the undertow on. It's going to be Link into the brush. Link finds Kerp. It's going to be the Zanyas and the safety for the rest of the team.
That's 2 kills right there for CLG, but they're down 2 inhibitors. They're in a tough place right now because they want to go for Baron, but their base is in peril.
They have great pushes on the top and the bottom lane. It could not be better with having 0 people pushing those lanes at any given time in the past 20 minutes. Baron's going in their favor right now. It looks like they have a good enough caster minion wave to grab bottom lane, and Baron will be there. Is it 50 minutes? The teleport, that has to be stopped. Oh,
he came in.
It's Creatine on the back line. Creatine going in hard. He throws down. No, the Banshee's Veil gets popped off of him. And looks like, oh, he gets not dead. So sliver of health as he limps away. Arnea goes in by himself, gets taken down, and CLG just turns this game around.
And you can see Doublelift snipe off Alternate with his Super Mega Death Rocket. They actually have 3 dead right now, and they might try to brute force down some Alternate turrets here.
They got a lot of turrets to deal with here, chat. They only have 1 big tank that counts in this game, and it looks like they are going to head towards the bottom lane. They do have a huge minion wave to work with, and this is going to be a 51-minute stretch if they can do it.
They're just going to keep pushing on. This time they have the Baron, and there's still a lot dead for Alternate Riv.
The inhibitor goes down. 44 seconds on Lucian and Shyvana. They do have Kerp back up.
They want to end it right
Huge
here if they can.
Damage. Kerp has the ultimate up. He will be able to blast them off. Link, the solar flare hits 3 and slows. You're going to see Link going down instantly, completely obliterated from the fight. CLG stands with 4, and they all can deal damage, but I don't know if they have what it takes.
They just keep this fight going. They get the hook.
The hook onto it. Kerp goes for the Zanyas. The box sits around him, and it's going to put him under. They go for kills back and forth as the retribution comes up. Double lift, can he finish it? The rocket takes down J-Ree. Kevin is doing what he can to live. His ultimate comes up in about 25 seconds, and there's not enough minions to win the game.
There's no dealing with Mundo right now, but this game is completely flipped around. Actually, if Ultimate can stop Double Lift from backing, the minions could kill CLG's base.
They have to get back in time. CLG knows the power of minions when it comes to the end game fight. They are trying to make their way through.
Don't kill the
they
dragon,
know they
walk
can't
base.
back there. Trying to walk, trying to the auto attack. They should be able to get back without, oh wow. I was
That's
gonna
one
say
down.
without too much damage,
Oh,
but
can Mundo
that's
find him?
damage.
Nope, Double Lift is back. He's back in base.
Still trying to run. Oh, whoa! So close, so close. And it looks like the turret may not be safe. Oh my gosh, the turret getting it so hard.
It's down.
No
it's
way.
Down. It
That
finished off.
is not the easiest thing to save. You have a teleport on Mundo now. Kevin and RNA coming into the base. These guys are full throttle.
And Double Lift is still trapped in base. This game just got absolutely out of control right now. But I think everyone's respawned. COG has nothing left in their base. I'd say it's game on.
People are scratching, even the players are scratching their heads right now. You can see a bit of communication, their size. I don't even know if they can buy anything else. We got a Frozen Heart coming in onto Nien, as well as his Warmogs. These guys are stacked.
Let's take a little bit of a step back here for a second.
Sounds good.
Alternate got a little bit overzealous in COG's base, and that's how all of this madness started. And it kind of needs to be a lesson here that when death timers are 75 seconds long and Double Lift is at like the absolute maximum 6 items,
Only 23,000 gold.
you got to be a little bit careful. He's only got 518 CS. There's plenty to go from here. It's actually max items. He's totally full. But really, this game, even though there is no defense at COG's base, there is almost no defense at Alternate's base either. I can't say COG will come back from this one because they have lost everything around their Nexus, and Alternate has got to play this next thing more safely. I feel like they over-greeded on that top turret.
That
and
fight was based on them thinking they just had it too much. They could do too much with what they had at the time.
Especially the fight afterwards at Baron, when they went in one after the other, Mundo and then Aranea. Sure, it was impressive because they're really tanky and they think they can just teleport into 5 people, but that's just sloppy play, and it nearly cost Alternate this game. They still have a chance to finish it off, though.
Well, first battle of the Atlantic Day. Definitely pleasing. 54 minutes into this one. Almost hit it. Very nicely played there. Uses the flash to get out. He still has the Dragon's Descent to come up, so he shouldn't be in too bad of a spot if they need to initiate.
Well, the thing with COG as well is all 3 of their inhibitors have actually respawned. So even though their Nexus is unprotected, he's fine. But he should not have ran that way. Wow,
So we got
one of those AoE hits is hitting.
And actually Afro move for himself, both picking up Warmogs, moving up to the 80 carries. It was a 6-0 and 5 Creatine versus Double Lift, who wasn't doing very well. Now 8-2 and 6.
We did say Double Lift's Jinx would outscale Creatine's
Yes.
Lucian, and that has definitely happened. I think these fights are going to hinge on whether or not a squishy can get caught by something. And I'm only getting over. But if the tanks can just move through, Alternate's tank line is also much stronger than CLG's. So if Kevin and Aranea can in order to win them, I think.
And we have to consider Alternate probably should have won this game by now. So they kind of faltered. Yeah, they faltered moving up.
Fight here.
They saw the teleport to the left actually on the way in, so they can
Mundo
really
could get
approach
behind
this.
him.
Greg, oh my God!
That's game.
What was that? Battle of the Atlantic. A game that I think turned everyone on their heads. The first of the series goes to Alton.